Hey everyone, I'm here with another of my stash page kits. I will be scrapbooking this photo of my children, and it has no date on it, so I'll have to go back and find it. It is a number of years old, but I have a Woody and a pirate. Let's have a look what we've got in here. I'll quickly flip through this and then I'll get creating. Okay, so I am back. As you can see, my full 12 by 12 sheet is that off-white with the wood grain-ish coloured hearts. That's an Amy Tam paper from Cut and Paste, so that's quite a number of years old. So I'm just going to cut off the branding strip. And straight away I had the idea that I was going to use the other side of the branding strip, which is that pink, and do some borders on the right hand side of my page. Now, if I remember correctly, I made this a little while ago. I do muck around with this for a little while, getting the layers just right. You can see I'm going to go for that darker blue, which is a 1 Canoe 2 paper. This one with the stars is by Photoplay paper from the Boys Rule, maybe? I'm not sure. You can see I've fussy cut some florals from that dark blue. So you can see I keep saying you can see, I'm sorry. I'm just going to kind of work out where those layers are going, and then I decided that I wanted something to match that pink. The beauty of, like I've mentioned in my last video, the beauty of working from home and doing these videos from my stash, from my page kits, is I've got my whole stash at hand and I'm really trying to make a dent in it. So I'm just flipping through my papers looking for a pink that is a close enough match. I'm not going for an exact match because I would be looking through every single sheet of paper that I own, and who has time for that. Found this offcut. It is from a Vicky Bouton pattern paper that you can clearly see is scraps, and I'm not sure where I've gone. Oh, I think I toyed with the idea of using some of that pattern paper as a layer with the stars, because I did have another one in my stash. I'm really impressed with myself. It is the school holidays, and I am on track with this little series that I'm doing. So yay me, I'm winning. Making sure that that is straight, and then I'm going to move it because it's too far over. I'm going to try again. Obviously I want to cover up that big hole there from, looks like it was a leaf. Just sticking that down. I'm going to stick this one on top and then the pink on top of that. I realised that I had trimmed a bit excess off the bottom of the page, so I'm just trimming that off. Again, this is quite entertaining. Oh, too funny. So I'm going to attempt to stick things down straight. If you follow me for a little while, you know that I don't often do straight, but when I want it straight, I want it straight. And it can be quite painful to watch. Trimming off the excess of that dark blue pattern paper, and now I can stick this down because I have a straight edge to work with. Man, I make myself cringe sometimes. So I am just ruffling up all the edges here, making sure it's all stuck down properly. Now I realised in a little while that I shouldn't have roughed up those edges just yet, but that's okay. I do end up adding a bit of interest, and it is more for interest than for perfection. I also pulled out these bright blue 6x6 papers. they are Stampin' Up! Papers, and I'm just going to add them in 3 spots. I really like, it's this really vibrant blue. If you're a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator or Stampin' Up! Person, then you may be able to tell me what that colour is. I have no idea, but I like it. So I'm adding just a couple of torn bits to my layers on the right hand side, and I'm also going to add a torn layer to the photo as well. I did struggle with this page a little bit. It just, like, it didn't want to cooperate. I'm going to stick that down. I'm going to matte the whole thing on this colour again. I just wanted to bring that over to the right hand side of the page, I think. What am I doing? Bring it down. Yeah, I wanted to, so I've got the pink there, I've got that bright pop of blue, and then I'm going to add in this dark blue. What am I doing? I think I'm going to add the tiniest bit of this dark blue all the way around, and then mount that onto the star paper, I think. Sorry, it was a little while ago when I made this page. I thought I was going to use this little sketchy camera. It's white with black sketchy lines. I thought I cut this out. I do apologise. But it doesn't quite fit with the design that I've got going on. It's a bit too, the design's just not flowing. I love this ampersand, and I struggled for a little while to get it on. I love the colour, I love the shape, I love the size. You will notice that I do get it on in the end though. I'm cutting something else and I've left it in. Again, I apologise. What am I cutting out? Oh, this is from the Paige Evans 2x2 paper pad. Let the Good Times Roll, and it's a little like baseball cap. I thought it was perfect. So next I decide to work out what I'm going to do with my title. And again, I do not make you watch all of this. Jump forward, miraculously it's all done. I did toy with the idea of using the ampersand in the middle of that, but I didn't like it. I've moved everything around a couple of times. But Sheriff Woody meets Captain Jack. Now I do add to that title because, you know, it needs more. I also had in the kit these bright yellow star stickers. I love them. And they work really well with this. They bring that yellow from the title around the page. And obviously my older boy is also wearing yellow in the photo. And I like the pops of yellow. Is it at this point? Yeah, so at this point I decided that I wanted a bit more texture. I'm using, no, yes, I use texture and I add splatters. But first, I think I activate my paint and then I add texture. I am using light modeling paste, and it's not very noticeable, but I'm going to add it to the left hand side of my photo, and then I'm going to add it on the right hand side in 2 places. I'm going to add it where those bright blue pattern paper strips are, and you can see in the photos it ends up being just mush, but that's okay. I just wanted a little bit of extra interest. And I kind of went, oh man, I thought about scraping it all off and went, you know what, I'm just going to embrace it. Just going to run with it. I do tidy it up a little bit so that it's not on anything except for the background on that piece. And then on this other bit, I'm pretty sure that I just make sure that it's only on the star paper. So I'm just using my palette knife and smushing that through. Because the dots are so tiny, because there's so much texture, that's why it was a disaster. There's nothing wrong with the product. It was the user. I'm using a paintbrush and adding some splatters of that darker blue colour. Can't remember what it's called, but I love it. It's beautiful. It's one of my new Shimmers products. And then I put my photo back on. I'm like, oh, I'm going to cover it all up. I'm like, meh, that's okay. I'll just live with that. I think I may add more. Don't know. I'm going to add some dimension behind my photo. And start sticking all my bits down. Because of the texture in the background, I am using my Scotch Tacky Glue to stick everything down because I would like it to stay where I put it. For those little tiny stars, I decided it was easier to put the glue on the page rather than on the sticker. I've used a couple of these epoxy stickers on the photo, so I decided to get those in a couple of other places around the page as well. These are from Freckled Fawn, and I have had them in my stash for yonks. I used to be a subscriber way back when they first started to the Freckled Fawn embellishment kits. They are awesome, but I stopped them. But they are very cool. I love them. And I still have some bits and pieces left, and these epoxy shapes are some of them. I managed to use, I think I used 4 of them on this page, so that's awesome. I pulled out a bunch of stickers that I thought I could use here, and I decide that I'm going to work upwards from here and add lots of little bits and pieces. I think that it's pretty obvious when I've been watching Shimelle, because my pages are less mixed media-ish, and I just keep adding more. But that's okay. I love changing it up. I've had lots of feedback that you guys like seeing the different things, so I'm going to keep running with it. I find that I get bored if I keep doing the same thing all the time. I've got a cut apart sheet here of some labels from Simple Stories. I think that's in the green. I've got this wood grain, it's in a grey colour and it's beautiful. Again, that's from Simple Stories, and I tried to get that in but I didn't love the colour. And this is where my ampersand is going. Now this is from a Heidi Swap kit of some description. I know that doesn't tell you a lot. It's been in my stash for a while, and like I said, I love it. It's on a page now. I'm very excited. It's one of the things I'm really looking forward to with doing this series is getting through some of my stash. Just ruffling up some of my edges here, adding a bit more interest. Doing the same to my paper layers. I think I stick that down. Yep, I'm going to stick that down next. Sorry for the close-up on my head. What am I doing? Oh, I'm just adding a couple of foam dots behind a couple of layers. That wasn't sticking. I realised at this point that I've got no yellow over here, so I'm going to bring those stars over. I start by adding in 4, and then I'm like, oh, that's only 4. 4 looks funny, so I'm going to come back in with a 5th. I'm going to add a couple of little word strip sticker phrase things here. Checking if there's more, and I end up bringing, I'm pretty sure, 1 into each of those other clusters. And they're in grey, they're Ali Edwards. And there's my 5th sticker, my 5th star. I am almost done here. I'm pretty sure I'm going to start sticking the title down in a second. I'm going to use my T-square ruler. And again, I add to it, and it has to be perfect. So you don't watch me stick it all down, because that would be torturous. And you can see I've added Sheriff Woody meets Captain Jack Sparrow. I've added my journaling underneath. I've added some more sprinkling in, and that is my page done. I'm really enjoying doing these kits. I have more kits ready to rock and roll, so I just need to get the motivation to get scrapping and some time. So I hope that you've enjoyed this one. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I love to hear from you guys. But I will be back again very soon with something new for you, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.